In other words, the observer determines the results of the experiment by the measurements that he takes. Again, comes back to values, huh? Measurements, values, see? If our values are fundamentally spiritual, and we see the world in terms of our spiritual values, then we're going to see a far more spiritual looking world. And we'll see a lot of behaviors in people and other living beings especially that mirror spiritual values rather than material. But if we see the world from strictly material values, it's like putting on a pair of sunglasses and going in the movies. You're going to wonder, why is the movie so dull? Huh? Most people, they see the world in terms of their own desires. They measure everything in terms of their own likes and dislikes. Wants and don't want. I want this, I don't want that. And this other thing is neither. So most of their experience goes in the irrelevant bucket. It's neither something that they want nor something that they don't want. And then what's left gets divided between want and don't want, like and don't like, accept and reject. This is a mental platform. It's the platform of desire. I want this, I don't want that. And because people look at life this way, they see everything in terms of their own desires. This is a very childish way to look at the world. You see this a lot in adolescents. They think they're the center of the whole world, and whatever they like is good, and whatever they don't like is bad. It's a very self-centered way of looking at things, very narrow point of view. But a more mature individual sees things in a different way, knowing that people have different needs and desires and that different value systems and so on. And so they know that other people are looking at things in their own way, and so they introduce a kind of relativistic value system. Moral relativity, I think it's called. So a really advanced person who's spiritual looks at everything with the values of the Lord, knowing that the Lord's values actually are the ones that determine what's going to happen. See? The laws are made by the Lord. He's actually in charge. We're not in charge here. We're just the help. So when we look at everything in terms of the laws of the Lord that He's revealed in the Scriptures, then it all makes sense. It's like, oh, now I know why that happened, and why this happened, and why this person did that, and that happened, and blah, blah, blah. It all falls into place, and it's all perfectly understandable. So if we want to be clear, and if we don't want to be confused about things, we should adopt the Lord's point of view. We should adopt His value system. Then we'll see things according to His laws. And everything will make sense then. If we have some different value system, then we're always going to be conflicting. Things are always going to be surprising us, like, oh, why did that happen? Or you have an experience and you think you're going to enjoy it, and it turns out to be miserable. This happens to everybody. I'm going to do this, and I'm really going to enjoy it. And then we have the experience, and it's like, oh, why did I do that? This is because our values and the Lord's values are different. If our values match His values, then everything is very predictable. We know going into something how it's going to turn out in the end. Another good reason to study astrology. Because by studying astrology, you can see very, very clearly what the result of taking certain actions is going to be. If your karma is such that you're going through a rough patch and life is difficult, there's nothing you can do that can change what's going to happen. But you can change how you look at it. There's a saying, pain is inevitable. Suffering is optional. Did you get the distinction? Pain is going to happen. It's just like right now it's winter here. It's cold. It's inconvenient. you have to put on so many layers of clothes and put on boots if you go outside and like that. We have to keep the fire going or keep the heater going, or the rooms get very cold. So it's inconvenient, it's a pain, you know. So pain's going to happen. But do we have to suffer? No. No. We can just tolerate it. We can just accept it. We don't have to lament about it. You see, that's the difference. That's spiritual values. Spiritual values say, okay, well, winter's coming. You know, we had a nice summer. Now it's winter. Okay, so we just have to tolerate it without being disturbed. Because we know spring is coming and then summer's going to be there. It's going to be nice again. So, you know, it's just a temporary condition. And we do the needful. Put on the extra socks and, you know, take the extra trouble, whatever it is. So, yeah, pain is always going to be there because we're in the material world. But we don't have to let it become suffering. Only if we lament about it. Only if we get upset about it. Then it becomes suffering. Only if we resist it. But it's God's law. The earth is tilted 23.5 degrees on its axis, so as it goes around the sun, it's going to get hot on one side, and then it's going to get cold on the other side. You know? That's just the way it is. And, you know, we have to go along with that. I mean, I suppose we could get on a plane every 6 months and go where it's warm. That's the next stage, I guess. But anyway, please try to understand. Ontology is very important for having a value system that matches actual reality. So if we have the ontology of the Vedas, then everything will be perfectly clear and we'll understand everything that's going on. Especially in our own consciousness. Any more questions?
Question from David Lugan. Are we always the marginal or superior energy regardless of whether we are in material or spiritual consciousness?
Yes. Thank you. That's it?
Yes.
Okay. What do we got here? Woo, we got a warm drum. That's what we got. Huh? Let's see if I can get a little lower.
Lower than
B flat. Oh, it's going to go up again. Namaste Narasimhaya.
Namaste Narasimhaya.
Prahlada Lada Dayine.
Prahlada Lada Dayine.
Hiranyakashi Purvakshaha. Tankana Kalaye. Ito Nrishingho Parato Nrishingho. Yato Jamita To Nrishingho. Narasimhamading Sharanam Prapadye. Tavakara Kamalavare Tanubringam Keshavadrita Narahari Rupa Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha Hare Jai Jagadisha